afternoon, everybody. It is great to see you again. If it's Tuesday at 2, well, then we're going to be at Behind the Veil. So Behind the Veil is a little show that we do every week to try to answer as many questions as possible about the event industry and about what you are facing currently at the moment. And every week we try to bring you a different little surprise, something else, a little different perspective. And we definitely have that for you today. But in the meantime, let me introduce myself. My name is Keith. I am your host. So I'm Keith with Willard Events. And then I have Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember by Marcy. She is our invitation specialist. Hi, Marcy. And then I've got Tyler Black with Cachet Events. And you all know him because he's amazing and he does incredible floral and decor. And then, of course, we got Nicole from Clay Events, our rental specialist, vintage furniture and costumes. And then, of course, my assistant, Brooke Logan Stoner. What?
I'm there.
And then our special guest this week is Vanessa Van Cartier, who is the brand new, well, I shouldn't say brand new, but the Miss Continental winner. And if you guys don't know what that competition is, don't worry. We're going to explain it to you here shortly. But she is coming from us from Chicago, correct?
I'm right now in Chicago, yes.
Yeah, so she's come from Chicago, but she originally started her life in Italy and Belgium. So we're going to get a whole different perspective about just what we're going on. So I'm very excited to see you guys. It is so nice just to take a moment and not have to think about what is going on in the world, right? I mean, so guys, what was your challenge? What was the latest challenge that you didn't realize that you would need to have to face that you faced this week?
Well, I'll speak.
Yeah, please.
My mother was in the hospital for the last 2.5 weeks. With a very severe case of a lot of different things, but it all was kicked off by being allergic to an
antibiotic.
Antibiotic, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So everything got kicked off by that, and she was on the COVID floor, and they tested her 3 times, and it was something after another with the hospital. It's very, very hard for family members to be able to contact their loved ones in there. And to get information is like extremely hard on the family. That's all I can say is it's just very emotionally draining.
So imagine going through what you're going through right now and still try to plan a wedding or an event and having to deal with it's just so much stress, just piled on top of stress, piled on top of stress. I mean, I love the latest commercials that are telling you it's okay to not be okay. And I'm like, oh, okay, yay. But
actually, it is okay to not be okay. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, no. It is okay.
And you're in trouble with me because you watched that in my home 2 days ago.
It's okay to be not okay. I love it.
Well, we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah. And then Tyler, I know that you're feeling a little under the weather. So, and you're not even at home. You're up in North Carolina.
Yeah, I had gotten tested. I've been around someone that had COVID. I went and got tested and tested negative. And then I started out on a journey and became sick. And pretty sure that I have it. And my brother is in the ER today, and his wife is sick as well. And I was at their house prior to leaving, working on my RV. So it's just a challenge.
It is.
It's
a challenge. I mean, and it's something that we have to survive.
I'm learning a lot about how people react to. People are very accusatory. Seems like everyone needs to blame someone right now, and that's a very hard aspect of this. I think we're all victims, but everyone seems to be wanting to blame people.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a thing that I'm dealing with. So.
Well, and I feel like here in South Florida, in Miami, Broward County, down here, people are taking that mask order to heart in a lot of circumstances. I mean, there's always going to be 5 or 10% of the population that are just jerks, and But when it comes to doing events, it makes me feel good that if we get to that event, at least I feel like people are going to be cautious about it.
Well,
but
I'm not so
North
optimistic.
Carolina?
Driving up here, once you got past, let's say, West Palm Beach,
right,
no one seems to be caring about masks, and it's a very Trump mentality. These people, they're Trump supporters. They don't think they have to wear masks. I went to a Cracker Barrel for whatever reason. I
Yeah.
went in there and had to leave because no one was wearing masks. People were on top of each other. It's all the way up here. Georgia was horrible. Nobody wore masks in Georgia.
Yeah.
So no one's taking this serious. I think we have a very poor leadership going on
Wow.
at the top. And I think our industry is going to be hurting for a while if this is how the outlook is looking.
I agree. And remember, that we're not really about politics. We're about like trying to help people figure out what to do about their event moving forward. And like, Vanessa, what's going on up in Chicago? Do you see people practicing, being safe?
To be honest, I see that people here are following the rules. I come from St. Louis because when I came from Belgium, I stayed in Chicago, and then I thought, I'm gonna leave alone. I'm gonna try to open my wings. The worst thing I ever did, because look, now I'm in a couple of weeks, I will go back and empty the apartment. I did a wrong move, but I mean, that's human. But what shocked me most is that in my own country, in Belgium, people are not realizing still, even if we have a good leadership there, that COVID kills. They obligate people to wear masks in the supermarkets just 2 days ago, while here in America, they obligated weeks and probably 2 months ago. And when I see the comments on the news of these people that don't understand and they refuse to wear masks, I mean, it's because of these people that till there will not be a vaccine, that we're gonna have again a wave, and that we need to fight every day, and you understand what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
We fight every day to try to keep COVID away, but because of these people, we are still in the same position. And it hurts me because at the same time, I think, oh, wow, I'm in America, even if the leadership is horrible.
Right.
Some states really practicing it. Like here in Chicago, I can see that people are respecting the rules, but in my own country, they are not doing it. And that's so disappointing.
That's interesting.
Wow.
So we know that the world right now is just in a bad place. We see cases spiking and stuff. So which made this question that I received kind of a little funny and a little scary. And the question was, if I have 150 people coming to my wedding and we are at a 50% occupancy, wouldn't it just make sense for me to find a ballroom that will hold 300 and keep my wedding at 150 people? I was like, I hadn't thought of that. I was like, well, that's a little genius. I mean, no offense.
The wedding in Oklahoma was that situation.
Was it really? Where they were like,
that's why they went. They had 150 reservations. That's why they went to a place that would hold 400 people.
So they could get away with that.
Huh?
So they could get away with that.
Exactly. And we were set up for social distancing and everything, but of course those other 80 people showed up.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So
that would be my concern.
Yeah, that would be my concern.
That what happens if they do show up? I mean, then you don't have any space for them. Whereas if you know ahead of time, if you know like a day or two in advance, you can always add things in the room to make it look more intimate. Whereas if you don't have the space, you can't just grow the space,
I know you could be walking into a ballroom that has tables that are 15 feet apart and they don't each feel like a little island, and you're just like, okay, this doesn't feel comfortable.
Well,
I mean,
about weddings speaking, what I read a couple of days ago, also in Belgium, you can do like a party with 50 people, but all the people they are invited, they are not allowed to dance. Only the couple that is married can dance. The other one need to practice social distancing. So that's, I don't know how it is here, but it was great.
I love that. I love the fact that they actually even thought of that, and that has not even been brought up here. That you can still have your wedding.
Yeah.
But it can't be more than 50, and only the couple. And we did talk about this last couple weeks.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I don't want to sound like Debbie Downer here, but why are you planning 150 people at a wedding right now? I mean, are you staffed? Are you like a little soft in the head? Because I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, people are dying left and right. Do you not care about your loved ones?
Right.
Sorry. I mean, are you so egocentric that you have to do it right now?
That's
I
true.
don't know. I mean,
So sad.
seriously, I mean, do you want people to be sick?
So this brings up a really great question, because in the past we've talked about that people needed something to look forward to. And that was kind of the thing that we've been talking about for the last 4 months, is that yes, you wanted to continue doing your wedding planning. You still wanted to just send out those invites because you wanted to give people something to look forward to. But in the current state of affairs, do you guys still think it's a good idea to still plan, yes, but to send out invites and talk about that? Do you think that's...
I do invitations and I'm going to say no.
So for the moment,
I think for the
pause.
moment, pause
Yeah.
and kind of let things kind of settle down a bit before moving into that phase of replanning.
And then if you're talking about, so I have weddings that move to October, and now I'm starting to get questions about whether or not you guys think it's going to be safe in October. Do you think you guys, is it going to be safe in October? Do you feel like we're on the right path? And
I don't think.
It's not going to be safe in October.
No, don't gonna be.
no, right? So I think that it's probably a safe bet that we all start talking about to our clients about maybe October, because just recently, and I think Nicole and Marcy, you both saw this, where a local event planner just did a wedding at for 70 people. And did you not see that? And how she just said, oh, it just seems like everything. And I actually like her, and it really shocked me that she...
Beautiful, but
Yeah.
hello. I mean, again, there was no room between people at the tables. It was done in a private residence. I mean, gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
No, I mean, and but you know, how many of those people are going to get sick or are sick, and especially in South Florida? I mean, it feels just crazy to me, you know.
And it's not just us and the waiters and stuff, but like Vanessa, when you perform, you have to get very close to people, right?
Oh, but we have a rule now at the Baton in Chicago, and I think every people that need to collect money, because you know the kind of work we do is based also about that.
Right.
We wear a shield in front of our face, so we perform on stage. If we are performing in the theater, I call it theater, but if we perform inside in the Baton, then we stay on stage, and people that approach us wear a mask. There is, of course, social distancing. The capacity is 50. And if we perform on the patio, from the moment we go through the people,
right,
and we wear a shield.
Wow. And that includes, so I'm gonna pull up some of your costumes, because when you say wear a shield, I go, how would you even wear a shield?
Yeah,
because
I need
some of these
course,
are just incredible.
I need, of course, to adapt my costumes on the rules. So no headpiece, because otherwise it would be too difficult to wear. But I follow the rules.
All right, so I'm just pulling these up, and let me know if you guys can see this. The first one should be a red dress, and there it goes. There it is. Can you see this?
We just see it as a thumbnail. Can you?
Thumbnails.
Yeah.
All right, so let me enlarge it. Hold on. New share. All right, how about that?
Oh, gorgeous. Beautiful.
Well, this is an outfit that I cannot wear if I want to wear a shield. So this costume is on the side right now. It would be impossible with a headpiece that is a geisha. I will first of all damage the headpiece, and it's impossible. So this is the costume that is on the side right now.
Well, and then like this one. I mean, look at that. Come on.
Wow.
This one is in Belgium. Just the dress is here. The headpiece, I couldn't take it because it takes a lot of space.
Yeah.
These are very theatrical costumes that even if they were here, I would wear them only on stage and never between the people, because wear a shield with that. It's impossible.
It's impossible, right? And then, I mean,
The makeup
again,
is incredible.
it's
you.
incredible, but like that's why I was so like caught off guard when I started going through your material, because these costumes are
That's
literally
another-
works of art.
That's another costume, by the way. The second picture you showed and this picture, I won both best costume on a award night in my country.
Amazing.
The
Wow.
clown won best outfit of the night, and this gothic costume won also best dress of the night. And this one is in Belgium too. I didn't took it with me.
And you made this dress.
No, I designed it, and I had people that they were making it. The dress underneath is all stones in crystals, and this was made by me. But
Wow.
Wow.
the way how this coat is made is impossible to make. You need to have really big professionals. This also is in Belgium.
Oh, wow. I love
Love that.
this. I
And you choose
love
again.
this.
You choose again an outfit that won the award for best outfit.
I mean, now we do a thing here called quinceaneras, and can't you see one of our quinceanera girls coming in, but in a big ball gown with this? I mean, they
Totally.
would just go crazy over this kind of interest. They would be like, "What? Yes, this is what I want for my life." But that headpiece, what is
The
that headpiece?
headpiece and on my arm there are attached wings. If
Yeah.
I open my arms, there is double fabric in it. So from the moment I start to turn, the costume become a flower.
Oh, wow.
What is
And
the
then-
headpiece made out
Yeah,
of?
what is that made of?
It's made in it's like a glitter canvas. Yeah,
Really?
so there is a canvas, there is glitter on it. Of course, there are stones in between, and when there is light on it, it really shines a lot. Yes.
That's incredible.
By the way, the headpiece I made by myself.
You did this yourself.
Yes, the form
Yeah.
I ordered it in Thailand. Then when it came, I took everything off and I made it as I wanted. Then I bought some flowers, some fabrics, and I glued them in the front. And I start to redecorate it on my way. And then there are 2 weeks that I sew together, and they are behind on the headpiece.
You
It's
know what
one piece, hair and sun.
Oh, it's
One-
incredible, because all I see, what I also see is a centerpiece on this.
Mhm.
When I look at this, I'm like, oh my God, if you took that and you were, I mean, there's just so much gorgeous decor visuals in this. And like, I think this is the one of you accepting a picture of you accepting the award, or yeah, I love this.
Yes.
Photo, by the
Oh,
way.
No,
that's
that's our photo
dress.
show. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
dress
that's a
is
great
not
shot.
mine. This dress is by the stylist that did my makeup for the photo shoot. So this is from somebody here in Chicago. It's not mine. That was used to make the picture.
And is that black and silver, or was it like a royal blue?
It's black and silver.
That's my backdrop
Yeah,
in
it's
color.
gorgeous.
My backdrop in color.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. But that's what I wanted to really talk about. It's like, I mean, the imagination to do decor, and of course we're going to bring it in terms of decor because that's what we
Sure.
do. I mean, it just takes a completely different mindset to figure out how to make that happen. And that stuff isn't cheap, I'm assuming.
No, the black. Well, I'm gonna be honest. The culture of pageantry here in America is very high to compare to what we have in Europe.
Right.
I spent some money. I prefer to spend like 3-4. I prefer to make and create 3-4 outfits a year that cost a little bit of money than to order every month 2 or 3 from AliExpress. And it's just the way how you want to present your character and your personality and your work to the people. But I heard that there are girls that spend for pageantry like 12,000-13,000 for one gown.
It's
I
crazy.
never did that. The most expensive of all the pictures that you just show
Yeah.
was the black one, and the black one was around 4,000. But I swear that was my most expensive one because in pageantry you need to go, the detail need to be just 100% because there are people judging you. But when you perform on stage, if there is a stone missing, I mean, nobody in the crowd will see it. I try to make it perfect, but I don't know if it can be perfect.
I find this amazing. I do. I find this amazing because your world and entertainment world and the world of weddings all have kind of the same judgment, like worries. You know, a bride is going to worry that her centerpiece isn't just perfect because there's a flower missing or there's a cup that's been moved out of place. I mean, the kind of detail that it takes to do this is the same kind of detail that we use in producing weddings, because you know, you got the one shot. You get one shot.
I believe in our world, in showbiz world.
Yeah,
how
showbiz
more
world.
creative you are, how more detail you are, and of course, if you are a good entertainer, how more points you score, and that's also in your world. How more unique you are, how more special you become.
Well, like Nicole, we had those fire dancers for TCG. And they were, I mean, they were spectacular because of how interesting and unique. I mean, you just don't see typically girls on fire.
Right. You see a lot of men, and then we had a body painted on top of it. So
yeah, so we had a body painted on top
like
of
fire.
that, like fire. So it's that same world of creating a moment for people to escape. And I think like right now, that's the kind of thing that you would hope that you would be able to do it. But I think that, you know,
right now it's alcohol. That's the
right now it's alcohol. It's like, oh, which kind of tequila is going to be on my you know, but you know, when
Well, we know
about,
what kind.
yeah, thank you. But if we're talking about pivoting, right, if we're talking about pivoting, I mean, have you thought, Vanessa, about doing shows on Zoom or online for people? And if
yes, I did. I did in the beginning. I thought that was amazing too, because this is also American. In Europe, they were not, because we don't have a tipping culture. European were not so interesting. And when I started to say to my friends, because Belgium is such a small country, I mean, 4 times Chicago, and that's Belgium.
Right.
I know so many people over there. I told them, listen, maybe we don't have the tipping culture over there, but all those people and all the fans that were coming to support us, I think they deserve also a little show during COVID. And they were very happy. There was no tipping, but there was, of course, entertainment online. I did it too. I'm blessed. I was invited in many shows here in America. I did like 10, 12 during the quarantine. And I think it's amazing. Imagine that we couldn't imagine 50 years ago without
technology.
I still can't get it right.
How hard it would have been, and then even my relationship, that I mean, most of the people know I didn't see my husband for 6 months. Imagine being here and not be able to see him. How horrible. I think we are blessed in a very difficult time.
In a weird way. Yes, we are. Yes. But Nicole, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that there's the, like with your Smart Ride and the bingo, you have the opportunity to play and participate at the bingo, but people also have the opportunity to donate to Smart Ride, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, we do. We have that.
That's something where you could do a performance and people could donate.
Oh yeah, so
people could donate to the underwrite or to donate to the performer. And I've been seeing a lot of people doing online classes, like whether it be dance classes or belly dance classes, or and they've been saying like, and it's been set up to do a donation if desired, like, or like everybody can give a little bit of what they can.
Right.
Just kind of, so it keeps the artists from starving, and it also provides the entertainment that so there's a way that you can monetize it a bit.
But you know, you could probably use that same format for like a baby shower, a bridal shower, a bachelorette party. I mean, because you know, typically gifts are given. I mean, does that come across as, I don't know, Marcy, crude? Does that come across like, you know, you're our manners expert, so it's like, if you put a donate button for a bachelorette party, does that come across in a bad way?
I mean, it's in this day and age, and specifically right now, until things are recuperating, I think it can I mean, I would think that would be acceptable First of all, the person isn't really touch, you don't have it going from hand to hand to hand. You're
Right.
not in person. You can have a virtual party online and
Right.
you can send things to the couple or the if you're doing a bachelor,
Baby shower.
a baby shower or something,
Yeah.
you can send something for the baby and so forth. And I don't see there's anything wrong with that. I was actually just on a call today
Yeah.
that if for those who have the Wix website, if you have a Wix website, there's a way to create events, monetize, and so forth. So you could actually do it for your clients, or if they have their own website, you can create accounts, and then you can have a way to take money if you have the Square or PayPal or something like that.
And that's Wix, W-I-X.
WIX.
I was just thinking what Marcy said was actually brilliant. Like you could send out an invitation to invite everybody to your bridal shower, your baby shower, have people send the gifts in advance, and then they have a virtual party where you're watching the bride open the gifts.
That's a very good
And then you're
idea.
all together.
Yeah, and you're all together and you're still doing the same thing you're doing. And people who didn't want to send in advance could just make a cash donation to the person. That's brilliant.
I love that idea.
And then the other way to do
That's a
it
great idea.
is the other thing that you can also do is if it's a small enough event, you can actually arrange for a restaurant or somebody in that area to send, like if it's a family of 4, you can send them a dinner, and everybody's eating dinner, having a Zoom at the same time. They're having an event.
Yeah.
They're able to have some kind of celebration. I think, anything that we can do to create people's lives a little bit, make it a little bit easier right now,
Yeah.
probably, the best way to go.
So I think that, I'm going to circle back to the idea of doing an event, because just 15 minutes ago, we were all like, nope, don't plan an event. But here we have an opportunity to still celebrate and keep people safe. I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of just talking about it and figuring out, how do we make this happen? I love the idea of shipping your gifts ahead of time, and then everybody get together and watch the mom-to-be, the bride-to-be open her gifts live.
Yeah.
I love that. Because that's what you really want to see. Same thing with weddings. Yeah, Tyler.
No, that's me.
Brooke.
Wow, okay, so first of all, I love you all. I'm sorry, because I'm more on top and more professional than this. So I don't even care what I look like anymore, and I at least have sound. So
you always care about what you look like.
Well, of course I do. And I have the creme de la creme of the queens of the world on this podcast with us, and my Keith, please check your text messages, and I need the floor. And I thank you all, but let me get into my gig for a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
Vanessa, I want to talk about a few things. I'm going to talk a little bit, and then I want Vanessa to chime in, and then anybody else come after that. The reason Vanessa is here is because of me. And I'm going to tell you why. I have been following the Miss Continental pageant since 2003. And yes, I'm transgendered and blah, blah. It's no secret. There was in 2003, I had a hierarchy, and I finally got to meet that person, and it wasn't the best thing, and things didn't go the way I thought they were going to go. So I lost a little bit of hope. That's just a person, right? My battle was, I never thought I was pretty enough to be Miss Continental. This is years ago, to where, smoke and mirrors and this kind of thing. I never thought I was pretty enough. I didn't think I was talented enough. I've always known I had the heart, and I've always known I had the brains, and I was smart enough. So cut to current, new changes, new rules, breaking all of the rules. Vanessa's here on my behalf, and I thank you so much. And the reason she's here is because I sent her just a direct message on Facebook. And just saying thank you so much. COVID's going on, all of the struggles that are going on. I watched a few interviews with her, and she didn't know me from Adam. She didn't know who I was. And she called me at 2:02 in the morning. And she said, thank you, because I was having a bad day and you gave me hope and you made me happy. And I, like, when I hung up, Vanessa just like bawled my eyes out, but I was jumping around the house. My husband was like, what's going on? I'm like,
She was totally jumping around the
house. And I called my boss and all that kind of thing. So this is what I want to talk about. You can have all the, Keith, did you get everything I sent you?
I'm almost there. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So you work on that, because we'll talk about drag in a minute. Her drag and how good drag can be and what it is. This is, to me, this is what a Miss Continental is. You can be the prettiest girl in the world, or maybe not the most prettiest girl in the world. You might not have the best clothes. You might not have the best jewelry. To me, what a queen is a queen reigns from her heart, and she cares about everybody. This woman took the time out of her day at 2 o'clock in the morning to respond to a message I gave her, supporting her and thanking her. And we'll get into this on my podcast later when we do our one-on-one, because she is the epitome of what my dreams are and her struggle and everything. And she called me. She didn't respond with a text message. She called me. She personally called me. And when it said Vanessa Van Cartier on my phone, I was gagged. I was like, oh, what do I do? Do you know what I mean? And it just gave me life. And she told me, thank you. The point is, it doesn't matter how pretty you are, how talented you are, all these kind of things. It matters. You're a queen to me in your heart and how you reign. And Keith, this is why I work for you. And this is what you recognize in me. So between Keith Willard and because of Vanessa Van Cartier, I know I'm good enough and I know I'm pretty enough, because there was a long time that I didn't think I was pretty enough to be a Miss Continental. I had everything else. She came and she broke all the rules. She did a solo talent. She came from Europe. No one wins Continental their first night, the first time entering. She broke all of this as a post-op transsexual woman, which they just changed the rules. I wouldn't have my surgery because my dream of being Miss Continental started in 2003. And so Keith, we've had this talk in the car last year. I didn't have my surgery because Continental has been a dream of mine, and I know the formula and how much money it costs, because she's very talented. There's very few that can stand to her, and I'll tell you, I know this like the back of my hand. This woman, what she can do by herself with next to nothing, and the message she sends and the talent that she has, that is talent that's Continental. I'm not taking anything away from anybody else, any of the formers, but she instilled in me the heart and the care and the drive that it still has to be that, without all of the smoke and mirrors. And that's my gig, smoke and mirrors. She said, wow, you can be beautiful. You can be talented. She does solo talents by herself. I thought she was singing her final night song. I thought she sang that from her voice. She's that good. Do you know what I mean?
So Brooke, I think I want to transition this back to the show, and I think that
you can, but I had to give it.
Every bride has this moment of, am I pretty enough? Am I good enough? Am I going to be able to do this? You know, and stand in front of people, because there are a lot of people out there that don't have great self-esteem, that don't feel like they can afford the wedding of their dreams. And I feel like, you know, Vanessa just gave a great message of, you know, all it takes is to reach out. Just reach out to somebody. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I've had a conversation with a bride who could not typically afford my pricing, that I just spent hours on the phone with, just to kind of give them that next moment so that they could feel like, you know, somebody cared. And I think during this time in COVID, it's more important than ever for us to do whatever we can for our fellow human beings in order to make people feel like, you know, they're still valid. And I'm just really, really thrilled that Vanessa was able to do that for Brooke. It's incredible.
Thank you, and thank you all. And Vanessa, a dream come true that I never thought would happen. So like, I'm on cloud 9. I'm never that late. I always look even better than this. And this was like the worst day ever for me to have this happen, but I don't even care anymore. I'm so thankful that she's here, so she knows that I love her. Everyone loves her. She's doing everything. This is what a Miss Continental is. And she's restored my hope that it's still going to be okay. And unfortunately, COVID happened. And So I wanted to bring her on the show to put a different perspective on, we do weddings.
Yeah. So
there's invitations from Marcy, there's this and that from all of what we do. This is a different type of situation that still happens at a lot of weddings, actually. Performances do happen. We've done a few of them, you know, and she can say whether she has or I don't know. I thought she had, but that's up to her to rectify that.
But I think Vanessa was. Vanessa was about to say something to you, sweetie.
Yeah, you know, I come from very far, and to make a long story short, once I did my surgery, many things were taken away from me. I come from 160 gigs a year. And
160 gigs a year.
Yes, and when I did my surgery, in the time I was at home. I mean, everything needed to be to heal. My career started to fading away because many people thought, oh, she's a woman now, so she don't deserve her spot anymore. And then from 160 gigs a year, I went to one a month. And I learned one thing, that if you are passionate and if you are talented and if you have dreams, even if you are not talented, but you want to become talented, then nobody have the rights to tell you where you belong. And that's what I wanted to say to Brooke. Don't cry, sweetheart. I'm the same like you. We are with our feet on the ground. I'm not more than you. I want a beautiful pageant, and because of this pageant, I have a voice and I'm able to use it. But I don't feel more than you. I don't feel less, and I don't feel more. And when you are humble and when you believe in something, I believe that people can change the normal rules. And I need to thank the owner of the pageant, Jim Flint, and the people behind him, like Christophe, that open doors. I told you last time at the telephone, I opened the door. It's up to you to keep the door open. It's only that. And it's like this in everything what we do. If it's on a stage, or it's in a shop or whatever, you can make things. You can make your dreams come true, but only if you believe in it.
I think that's actually as business owners, this is our dream. You know, our dream was to be able to build something that we loved and love what we do, just like you're doing with the pageantry. You know, I opened up an event company because I love doing events, and you know, Corona hit, and it.
You know,
you know, and right now more than ever, it's like about the story of hope and the story of there will be another tomorrow.
But there will be another tomorrow. But I understand, Brooke. I understand that when you want to have something and there is just that rule that say no, you are not able to be part of the legacy. And once this change, and yeah.
I've always said that
maybe not. I understand the fact that I'm very down to earth, make the things easier. I don't know what my other formers do. I respect them, but I just do my own thing, and because I like to profile as everybody, as the same as everybody. I don't need that red carpet. The only thing
I need a red carpet. What are you talking about? I always like a red carpet.
Yeah, but I don't need people that put me a red carpet or that need to bow, because at the end of the day, I do exactly the same things that you all do.
I want that. I want people bowing.
The thing that is important.
Ain't nobody can lip sync like that. Nobody can do what she does, honey. There's some, but they haven't mastered it yet, because nobody can do what Vanessa did last year and have that crown on her head. And it wasn't so much; it was her heart and her story and everything that just sucked me in. And I told Vanessa I wanted Melanie Von Cruz to win because I didn't even know her then. Do you know what I mean? And to watch a pageant and to like switch from being a cheerleader to that person to be like, oh, yeah, actually now this is really what it's about. Do you know what I mean? She
Right.
she has touched everyone. She's a lot of people.
And I think that's, again, we're going to circle back to the event industry and the wedding industry, which is what this show is really about. So I'm glad that we were able to give kudos. But I think that we have a lot of frontline people out there in the world today that are doing everything they can to help other people, to help other human beings. And that, especially in the event industry, we're all super struggling at the moment. I mean, it is, I went from, Brooke knows this, we went from having events packed all the way till the end of the year, and now everything has moved to 2021. So we're no longer talking about how we're going to survive the summer. We're talking about how we're going to survive until 2021.
Yeah.
And do
how
that.
do we eat, period,
And do that while still instilling hope and creativity and joy in weddings, because that's our job. That's our job, is to make sure people feel great about their day, and that we do everything we can to reduce that stress, to reduce the massive amounts of paperwork that come with creating an event. I mean, so like Marcy, how many of these events are you now starting having to change and send, change of address, change of date? I mean, all of them.
This is the third roundish.
Yeah, this is the third round of change of dates.
Round, yes. So yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing, and to watch people drain their bank accounts pretty much because, they're not having the income that they were before, and
Right.
It's emotionally draining to first of all go through it the first time, let alone 3 times.
Well, and I think that, I think we're seeing a change in what is important to us.
Yes.
The human connection now has become bigger than ever. And I'm hoping that at the end of this, we get that same kind of vibe that Vanessa was able to give Brooke in our everyday dealings. It's like, reach out the hand and do what we can in order to make sure that we have strong bonds between people.
Yes.
Because what else is life than the
Exactly.
people that you love?
You never know at all in life, you guys, where you
really
look
don't.
somewhere and you find something that inspires you. You never know. Keith, you know. Nicole, Marcy, I love you. Tyler, I love you. We've worked a few times, but I'm closer to the two of you. Keith, my gig. You know what I mean? And so Keith knew how much this meant to me. When I called him the next day after Vanessa just called me, he knew this was a huge thing for me. And you know what? I feel like a little bit of an asshole for crying, but I don't, because I'm like, you know what? I want the world to know this is what it is.
You know
It's
how
not
many
just
brides
about a
cry?
pageant, it's
Come
about-
on.
It's about how you still, no matter what has to be, you have a duty to be a human being. You have a duty to be a human being.
Yeah.
And be kind-hearted. What do I always say? I walk out the door when I was a general manager of the restaurant. I said, bye, everybody. Be kind to one another. And
hello, Ellen.
They'll all tell you. They used to mimic me all the time. Be kind to one another. And that was my message every day that I walked outside that door.
And that's what we have to do now as planners, as event professionals, as entertainers, is to make sure that we carry the message of positivity, and that this too will pass and the joy will come back. The joy will come back into the weddings that you're doing. The joy will come back into the baby showers. And right now, it's up to us to figure out how to make that happen, even in these difficult circumstances. And that's why we talk about the Zoom meetings. And that's why we talk about how to renegotiate your contracts. And that's why we talk about, what do these terms mean? So that way it reduces your stress level. And I think that's actually a really great place to wrap this up. So I want to say thank you to everybody that was part of our panel today. Thank you, Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember. Thank you, Nicole with Play Events. Brooke Logan Stoner, we love you. And Vanessa Van Cartier, I cannot even thank you enough for being our special guest today. You're amazing.
Thank you.
You're not taking on my final thoughts, Keith.
But I want to say something quickly.
Okay, go. No, yep, I will shut up right now.
I just want to say something quickly, and I don't want to sound pathetic, but
no.
Actually, we survived. The lucky ones survived phase 1. There is a second wave, of course, everywhere. But the thing will. I mean, we're gonna survive this too. And I really, really, really believe at the end of the year, it's still some months, yeah.
Yeah.
But everything will be over. It teaches us so many things. It teaches It teaches us values. It teaches us how to be precautious. And some people would think, oh, it's easy to talk because nothing happened to you. Well, I can tell you, I lost a friend because of the pandemic. He didn't die from COVID. He suicided because he couldn't handle the fact that he was home. So on my way, I suffered too. But I'm so sure that in some months, everything will be over and we're gonna restart and we're gonna learn how to have a new life, because many people right now are lost. And sometimes I'm lost too, but I try to be strong. And that's what you guys are doing, encouraging people, giving hope with your talk show, with your way, with your intelligence, with the passion about weddings, with everything what you do. So just keep on, think positive, and we're gonna survive this horrible virus.
We totally are. All right, Brooke, final thoughts?
Well, Keith, I love you.
I love you too. So
Marcy,
I'm just like
Tyler, Nicole, I love all of you. Thank you so much for y'all are seeing the real softer side of Theo's right now, because I'm all bully and I'm not a bully, but I'm like, you guys know who I am. You've never seen me cry. You've never seen weakness from me. And I want to tell you, I'm a human being. And this woman has given me hope again and put me on tears on national television. You know what I'm saying? So
well,
it still matters. And
you could actually say we were worldwide, because, the internet, we could, wink to us.
My point is this. I love all of you, but this woman that you allowed me to bring onto the show has given me hope in my personal life and my struggle with who I am as a human being and all of that. And I thank you so much for that, because you ever thought I would cry? Hell no, I don't do that. But
once in a while.
And I don't apologize. I don't do that. But thank you all. I love you, Vanessa. You're amazing. My point is this. You never know what actions you take in life and what you do, whose life you will affect. That is my message with bringing her on here. You never know the kindness that you can give one person, how you can affect the change or the outcome of their life. And she has done that, Keith. And I'm not going to get on. That's a whole other topic, but that's my message. Vanessa, I love you so much. This is you've got me into tears because you've gave me hope and joy again on a different struggle these people don't know. And I love the rest of you for our professional business.
Well,
on COVID,
and so keep in mind. So keep in mind that this is just a little precursor, because they are going to do a one-on-one show in the near future where it's going to be just
Brooke. I will not cry.
Well, you may cry. Just Brooke and Vanessa to talk about the pageant world and talk about the struggles that they're going through. At this show, we're talking about entertainment. We're talking about the vendors. We're talking about weddings. It's they're very similar in a lot of things, that we do. It is about creating a moment that people can escape and remember for the rest of their lives. And that's what we try to do with weddings. And that's what we try to do with baby showers. And that's what we try to do with shows, is give people a moment that they could forget what the outside world was all about, right? And so I want to thank each of you for bringing that joy into this world. So Marcy with An Affair to Remember, Nicole with Clay Events, Tyler with Cachet Events, Brooke, because you're just lovely, and Vanessa Van Cartier, thank you so much. And
my pleasure. I wanna wish good luck to that gentleman that don't feel so well. I don't know his name. Tyler, I wish you good recovery, and
thank you.
I will think of you, and we're gonna think positive, and I'm sure everything will go fine.
It will.
Feel better.
All right, guys. Have a good day, everybody. Kiss, kissy. Mwah.
Bye.
Thank all of you so much.